He weighed in at 8 stone, 13 and a half pounds, or 125 1/2 U.S. pounds. With a record of 44 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, he has 26 of his wins coming by way of knockout tonight. Making the 12th defense of his title, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, a true warrior of boxing, the IBF featherweight champion of the world, Tom Boom Boom Johnson. And his opponent across the ring, the world champion on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing his leopard trunks, hailing from his hometown of Sheffield, England, and proudly representing his heritage of Yemen. His weight, 9 stone even, right at the limit of 126 U.S. pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring, 24 wins, no losses, 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the 5th defense of his title, here is one of boxing's young sensations, the colorful and explosive, undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem Hamed.
A really big fight atmosphere here.
Now to give instructions.
Is that some kind of omen for what's going to happen here? One of the key things is what happens when Prince Naseem Hamed lands what he calls his rocket launchers. Johnson has been on the floor once or twice in recent defenses. He's got up to win. If he catches the power of Prince Naseem, what will happen then? Will he get up from that? Will he be able to make his ring craft and skills tell? The early stages of this could be absolutely vital.
Johnson warmed up long and hard in the dressing room, so you can guarantee he was expecting a fast start to this fight.
Naseem, as always, switching from southpaw to orthodox even early on. Sometimes he throws punches and leaves himself a little open because he's so off balance. Will Johnson make him pay for that kind of thing, as Manuel Medina did? And he hits a bit harder than Manuel Medina. There's Tom Johnson. Two world champions clashing. Something has to give. Often starts cautiously like this, Prince Naseem, and then suddenly he'll explode into action. He's very, very fast, and the punches come from unusual angles like that left hand. Just for a moment, Johnson was caught by surprise. He's okay.
Well, I don't think Johnson will ever seen punches come in from these types of angles before.
These are not freak punches, though, from Prince Naseem. He works on this. It's a style that's evolved since he was a little boy of 7 when he first wandered into Brendan Ingle's gym in Sheffield. Good body shot, that was, from Johnson. Get the impression that Prince Naseem himself is just taking a little look, switching stances, going orthodox like now for a while. He's normally a southpaw. In the past, Johnson's had problems with southpaws once or twice.
So you can see there's a great deal of mutual respect. Hamed is having a long look at Johnson as well. He's getting a little untidy there.
Now they build this up close and personal. In the last 48 hours, it's got very personal. Become a bit of an Anglo-American grudge match.
And Johnson didn't like that. Hamed still trying to rattle Johnson.
Prince made to miss. Be sure that Johnson will have watched videos time and time again and will have tried to work out a style to win this. An entirely different class of opponent. Johnson's been in no kind of trouble so far. bottom dollar that the showman inside Prince Naseem will know this is the round. He'll be thinking about it. Johnson knows about it too. Johnson was saying he's just putting himself under pressure by naming a round. He said, what's the Prince going to be thinking when they say round 4, round 5?
Well, the two best punches from Johnson so far in the fight. Good right hand, come back with a wide left hook. Both of them landed.
Finds the target, not quite as elusive as he used to be earlier on in his career for my money, Prince Naseem. Johnson dodging this way and that, giving it plenty of lateral movement. You just wonder if he has the capability somewhere inside to maybe take Naseem to school. Very clever little left-hand counter from Johnson, who's boxed well so far in this round.
There haven't been a great deal of punches landing from either men, but the cleaner shots and more of them have come from Johnson in this round.
Again, Naseem tried the left hook. And he's being frustrated at the moment by this clever craftsman. But he does have the power to turn things around very, very suddenly. He's got him with a left hand. Johnson backed up against the rope. Has to take another right hand. This time he's in a bit of trouble. Then a left. Is Naseem going to fulfill his prediction? Worst moment so far for the American. He wants to stand and trade, which may not be wise. Breakthrough for Naseem, who brings close range at Johnson. And he's caught him with a right hand again, and Johnson wants to hold on. Combination punching. He's got Johnson going. This is a big round for the Prince. He falls over there. The crowd think it's a knockdown. It isn't. There are 22 seconds left in the round.
But Johnson is unsteady. He's been hurt by punches here. He's trying to slug it out with Hamed, and that could be dangerous.
His legs did a silly dance there. Johnson in the middle of the ring. He's felt this power. Can he take it? There's no doubt about it. Naz has got him going. Oh, and a right hand catches Naseem. Right as the bell sounds, a countering right, very similar to the one that Manuel Medina caught him with and knocked his gum shield out with.
That was a hurtful punch right at the end from Johnson, just to warn Hamed that it's not over yet. He's still in there. He's still got his senses together, and that was a good punch. But it was certainly Hamed's round. He got through with the better punches, and he hurt Johnson time and time again in there. And he was on unsteady legs.
Johnson will need all of the minute to recover, despite his excellent right hand right on the bell. Well, he predicted round 3 for his mum. It hasn't happened, but it nearly did.
It nearly did. He did very well to get out of that, Johnson. He used all his experience there to avoid the punches. This is right at the end. Johnson rolls away and then slips over the top with that right hand, just to give a little message to Hamed.
4th round. How much has Johnson recovered? Naseem started to nail him, and again he gives him that little cocky grin through the gum shield. Johnson retains his poker face. It's a good left hand as well, and again the legs look wobbly from Johnson. This man has never authentically been stopped, and again they wrestle each other to the floor. There is no knockdown, and Naseem there was doing a little imitation of the way he thinks Johnson's legs are looking.
And Johnson's starting to feel the power now, looking unsteady on his legs.
Is this excellent American world champion coming towards the end of his reign? He looks ready to be taken. His legs are betraying him a bit. can find another humdinger, you wonder what might happen. Prince Naseem looks like a man who believes he's in control of this, and he may well be right. The punches are coming at Johnson at angles he hadn't really dreamt of, despite all his experience.
Because he's never seen anything like that this before, but he's ready to stand and have a fight with Hamed.
There's still big technical errors at times from Prince Naseem. When he does miss, it looks awful, and he does get countered with right hands. But my goodness me, he does pack a punch, and he's so quick, and he hits so hard.
And we look technical errors for most fighters, but for Hamed, he gets away with them.
He almost defies conventional logic. Johnson has been through a dodgy spell, but he's still there. And many times in his reign, he's come through bad moments to prevail, and Prince Naseem Hamed has got to remember that.
It's all gone a little quiet, just again having a little look at each other. It's only Hamed's round.
Bonzo Johnson, chief trainer for Tom Boom Boom Johnson, his previous trainer, died. So this is the first fight for Bonzo Johnson to be in charge in that corner. Johnson's such an experienced pro, he can almost motivate and kind of train himself. Fifth round. This is already a pretty long fight for Prince Naseem Hamed. He's usually got them over by now. Get the impression, don't you, that Naseem is just waiting his chance to explode another punch through the gap, find an angle.
Yes, that's how he does it. He waits and waits and just waits for his opponent to make a mistake, and then he quickly counters with a punch from an unusual angle.
There's a left hook in there as well. Didn't really land too flush. Johnson's movements are more laboured than they were a little early on, though. He's taken a few. Johnson badly needing to find a little bridgehead back into the argument.
Yes, he's losing these rounds and falling behind on points, and he needs a good round. He needs to try and get a hold of Hamed with some decent punches.
Lovely right hand that was from Naseem on the counter. Steve Collins, having retained his title, watching at ringside. All the other fighters on the bill, apart from those still to fight, of course, out here and engrossed in the action. Waiting to see whether Prince Naseem Hamed can lift this second belt for British boxing. One thing I've noticed with Naz tonight is he's not quite as wild as one's seen him in the past. He's just picking the punches and the openings a little bit better, isn't he? It's a little more mellow.
Yes, he's just tightened himself up a little bit. He's not been as brash. He just looks as if he's concentrating more on his work.
Two good left hands again, although Johnson seemed to just parry one of them. Very accurate. The head's coming dangerously close together there. He nearly walked onto one. That's a danger too. There's another left hand.
Johnson's trying to wait for Hamed rushing in with his left so Johnson can catch him with the right. He almost got it on there.
And of course, that will double the power of the blow if he's walking onto it. And if Prince Naseem wins this, you will not be able to take it away from him. Good little right hand from Johnson, who must know that he's got to start to change the pattern a little bit, because he must realize that he's falling behind on the scorecards. Again, the right hand from Johnson.
Hamed has a little comment for him after Johnson attempted that right hand.
Naseem, who's scored 43 knockdowns in his 24 previous fights. So far, he hasn't had Johnson on the floor. Only 3 opponents have managed to stay upright in Naseem's career to date. Remember, Tom Johnson got off the floor against Ava Beleño when we saw him in Newcastle, the Colombian. He was down in the first round and got up to win by stoppage in the last.
Johnson's recovered quite well. He got a little bit of spring back in his legs there, just getting back to some movement.
He's very, very wary of Prince Naseem's power now. And you have to ask the question, what is Johnson going to do to win the fight from here?
Because he's falling behind on points. He's got to try and land some decent punches. He's got to try and hurt Hamed. And a good right hand there from Johnson.
That was one of his best punches of the contest. He's not noted as a huge puncher, Tom Boom Boom Johnson. He's not a light hitter, and there he catches Naseem again, who again left himself off balance and knows it. A self-conscious little jig on the spot from Naseem. It's 2 good right hands from Johnson, who is just maybe rediscovering his confidence.
Yes, we're just getting the better of this round thus far. 2 good right hands. And Hamed not getting close enough to land his own punches.
Prince Naseem has to be careful that he doesn't let Tom Johnson back into the fight. This is a very wily old campaigner, 10 years older than him. And again, the right hand. He's got careless in this round. It's been his worst round so far, Prince.
Hamed's just planted his feet, and Johnson has used good movement and just picked Hamed up from distance in a good round. And I think Johnson's round.
I think he won 7. Remember, Prince Naseem Hamed has won all his world title fights so far by stoppage. Will he become the first man to authentically stop Tom Boom Boom Johnson? He's only lost twice, the American. I say authentically because there was one against Manuel Medina when he was beaten on a technical decision when the fight was stopped because of cuts in the 9th round, but Medina was ahead. Since then, Johnson beat that same fighter twice. It's tearing that 1 or 2 of the American commentators behind us have scored the last 2 rounds for Johnson. Reminder that some people, maybe the judges, could be seeing things a little differently. Remember, there are 2 American judges and a Mexican scoring this. That strikes me as a bit odd in a fight between an Englishman and an American to have 2 American judges and an American referee, but there you go.
And that's how I have it in. I still have Hamed 3 points ahead.
Yep, I had him 3 ahead going into this one. But Johnson is finding his way back. I think Barry McGuigan had a good point, didn't he? Naseem has to start picking up the points a bit and not just waiting to try and land an attempted knockout blow.
This Hamed just becoming a little flat-footed. He's got to try and get in range quicker.
I just wonder whether Hamed has just mentally relaxed a little after having Johnson on the run in the third and fourth round. He may have felt he had it in the bag, but Johnson is proving otherwise.
Well, a fighter like Tom Johnson is certainly not one to do that against. You've got to have it all really right. You've got to be very sharp mentally. And Johnson just dancing around, content just to pick Hamed off at distance.
At the moment, he's just outboxing him a little bit. The left hook gets Johnson going again. Oh, here we go. Clubbing right, then a straight right hand as well.
And that was all caused from a little short left hook inside, and again Johnson's hurt.
Bad moments again for the American. He's breathing heavily. Suddenly, Naseem has him on the run again. Oh, and the left hand sent Johnson reeling backwards. Three-punch combination from Naseem. He can be a chilling finisher. He's tottering now. Tom Boom Boom Johnson. This time Naseem is looking for the finish, but the bell comes at a very good time for Johnson. Just at a time when you felt that Prince Naseem Hamed was close to the stoppage, but he's in a bad way, Johnson, in that corner.
He really is, and he didn't look as if he was going to make it there. I think if the round had been much longer, Hamed could have well scored the stoppage. He was really just keeping up because the ropes were there and he was trapped in the corner.
Well, I've said it time and time again. Whatever else you say about Prince Naseem Hamed, I think he is the biggest punching featherweight out there, and I think that's proving a vital factor in this fight. Again.
Without doubt, and he got it all from that left hook in close, got all his power in just a short distance, and then he kept the pressure on. He is a very good finisher, Hamed, and Johnson was doing everything there to move out of the way of these punches, but he was certainly in bad trouble at the end of the fight, at the end of the round there.
Second down, round 8.
Stayed on his feet somehow through all that though, Johnson. 8th round, rising excitement for the sellout crowd at the London Arena down in the Docklands. Is this the round for Prince Naseem Hamed? The 8th round, he found a good left hand there from close in, and another one. And this time, Naz has started the round fast, which will give him a full 3 minutes to maybe force the stoppage. Lovely uppercut as well. Once he gets his man going, like a lot of good fighters, he suddenly switches up about 4 gears in an instant.
This is very difficult for his opponent to get out of the way because he brings these punches in from all sorts of angles. It's difficult when a fighter has got everything there, but when he's hurt, he doesn't know where they're coming from.
Now, there's been some sparkling stuff in the last couple of rounds from Prince Naseem. And again, a very hard-looking left hand that might have put a lot of fighters on the floor. He wears those leopard skin trunks, and he's on you with the speed of a big cat at times as well.
He's really putting power into the right hands now, Hamed.
Oh, he looks in a bad way. Johnson tottering, almost went right hand. He's surely ready to go. And this is the 8th round. Again, he somehow stays on his feet. Huge right hand. The referee thought about stepping in there. There's a cut as well underneath one of the eyes for Johnson, who's all over the place. We are surely only seconds away here. If Naseem can find another big punch like that, a right uppercut. Nobody could have taken that in the 8th round. He'll do very well to get up from this. And will the referee let him go on anyway? No, he will not. Prince Naseem Hamed adds the IBF Featherweight Championship of the world to his WBO belt. He is twice a world champion. And again, the finish was electric.
Yes, you've got to give credit where credit's due. That was a tremendous fight from Hamed, and he finished the fight in superb fashion against a very, very good champion in Tom Johnson. So that was a superb win for Hamed and could be the start of the legend.
Well, I always hesitate to talk about legends. I mean, we're talking Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson there, but let's not pour cold water on things. This has been a great moment for British boxing. This is an exciting talent, and it's his speed and his power that make him so very, very difficult for fighters to handle. It's the first time Tom Johnson has been authentically stopped in his career.
Yes, a stoppage win against Tom Johnson. You have got to give credit. That is very, very good going indeed.
And maybe the Americans, who've been pretty cynical about Prince Naseem, in fact some of them have been downright insulting, will have to alter their opinion a little now.
The WBO light flyweight world title immediately to follow.
All sorts of exciting possibilities open up now, I tell you. But just look at the finish again.
He's a very good finisher. Look at the right hand. He was touching at this point, Johnson, and now he just can't see the punches coming. They're coming in from all sorts of angles. He's got Johnson in trouble here, and he just keeps the pressure on.
Proud, skillful champion.
And this is where it finishes here in the right uppercut. He just looked for that shot, bent his knees, got all his power in it, and the beautiful delivered punch. Johnson just crouched down and just sort of fell into the punch, really.
It was a chilling punch. And yet again, Prince Naseem wins by stoppage. That's 13 in a row that he's knocked out or stopped. Who can live with his power?
Significant step towards his ambition of becoming one of boxing's legends. Naz stopped Tom Boom Boom Johnson in the 8th round at the London Arena, thereby adding the American's IBF World Featherweight title to the WBO version he already possesses. John Shires reports.
A more cautious start from Naz than usual, but it came to life in the third, the round that the Prince had forecast he'd ended. But after he pummeled Johnson close to defeat, there was a sharp reminder of just why the American had made 11 successful defences of his version of the title. It wasn't until the 7th that Hamed caught up with him again. This time Johnson was saved by the bell. But there was no escape in the 8th. More pressure, more combinations, ended with a sweetly timed uppercut. And the 32-year-old's resistance finally crumbled. So, mission accomplished, and perhaps even more significantly, the fight was shown on American TV, and even more lucrative unification fights for the WBC and WBA versions of the title will surely follow.
Football in Sheffield.